How's it going, everybody? We have a much funner video for you guys today because today we're talking about War and Cosmic Crucible room rule changes. That's right, new seasons are coming to both of our favorite PvP game modes in Marvel Strike Force, and we have the news for you right here, so buckle up, let's jump into it. Greetings, Commanders, a frightful fight is coming to Alliance War, and the Ultimate 32 is back again. This time, with no effects to your Cosmic Crucible leaderboard status. Here's what's heading your way. I'll believe it when I see it. Because anytime they try and change sort of the status quo in the structure of our game modes, we all kind of get wrecked. So who's ready for everyone to drop back down to bronze? Let me know what you think is going to happen, or if you think that they're going to get this off without a hitch. I hope they get it off without a hitch, because I actually like the concept of U32 as sort of a break in the middle of seasons. But I know a lot of you guys did not like how it messed with people's trophies. Alright, but let's start with a new war season. Here are the rules for when the Frightful Fight begins on November 30th. Alright, so we're going to have the Frightful Fight season throughout the rest of 2025. Global. On turn, apply assist now to a random Brimstone ally. That's going to be really powerful. That's a global rule. That's going to stop. Wow, that is actually very powerful. That's going to stop like big vigilantes from punching down into Brimstones, unless they're like 3-star daemons. That's going to stop, may not stop the Insidious 6 counter with Nightcrawler and Brimstone. It will make the Brimstone team much better on defense. They know what they're doing there. They're putting all those eggs in that Brimstone basket to cause some havoc and some chaos. We have a room rule for an upcoming war team. Does that mean the next team is a war team? Oh, hold on. We have a room rule for an upcoming defending war team. Are these two different teams? Maybe we're going to get like another Infestation style rework, maybe? This is super interesting. So when I see this, because they've differentiated defending war team and just war team, it makes me think two different teams. But maybe what it's trying to say is there's going to be one new war team. There's going to be a global rule for that war team, which affects both offense and defense. And then there's going to be a defensive component that also is for that team. Let me know what you guys think. Are we getting two new war teams back to back? Or is this just one team, or possibly like an Infestation rework? Let me know in the comment section below. We're going to be getting 20% primary stats to defending Insidious 6 and upcoming team allies. Upcoming team has got to be one of these teams, or no, it's not war team, so just a random team? Ooh. And 20% primary stats to attacking allies. Okay, pretty spicy right out the gate. Let's see what these rules continue. Oh, no, these are still global rules? Room, plus 30% primary stats to defending. Are we still done global? No, we're still on global. Room. Plus 30% primary stats to defending allies if all characters in the room are of one of the following traits. Thunderbolts, Astral, Starjammers, Insidious 6, Infestation. You guys let me know the last time you saw an entire Thunderbolts, Astral, Starjammer, or Infestation team together on defense. You don't see it. You could see the full Insidious 6 team on defense, because that's actually only 3 members. Plus, you have some plug-and-play use at that point, right? That could be a thing, maybe, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that either. Insidious 6 is so good on offense. We're also going to get 30% primary stats to attacking. So on the offensive side, allies with the following trait. Liberty still get it. A-Force still get it. Mighty Avengers still get it. Undying and Secret Warrior. So right now, I believe Avengers get it. Not particularly Mighty Avengers, which means our Storms, our Jean Greys. They do have that Avenger trait because they were part of the Uncanny Avengers. They have the Avenger tag, right? Same with Black Widow. So that's going to limit those characters' use. So say goodbye to some of those interesting counters. We're going to have to figure out new solutions to the Professor X teams that required Storm and the Brimstone, where people were sometimes using Black Widow to cause issues. Interesting. All right, Medbay. On spawn, apply 2 regeneration to defending allies. Apply an additional generation for 2 turns to defending tech allies. This is a stupid room. I don't know why they do this. Just do something different. Do like on turn heal 15% if you're defending yourself. Like this is regeneration's garbage. Regenerations can be used against you. This is a bad room. Armory, 20% primary stats to defending allies and additional 20% primary stats to defending tech allies. And that's for adjacent. So we're seeing a lot of tech stuff. Is this to kind of push Insidious 6? Or is this going to be a new tech war team? Yeah, you got to look at the context. It's pretty interesting. Armory is an adjacent room. I think there's nothing wrong with that room. It helps you kind of prioritize where you want to dig and how. Security. On spawn, apply defense down to attacking allies. Ugh. Big swing and a miss. Currently, for the October season, Security was also applying offense down to attacking allies. This made defense so much more powerful if it was being buffed by security. It made it a lot more interesting. I wish they kept the offense down on there, even though that has bit me personally in the butt many times so far. Bridge on spawn, apply 10 positive effects to random defending allies. I don't hate that. Yeah, I don't hate that. It is what it is. There's no immunity, no speed up, so you still kind of know the turn order and how your effects will plan out when you get into a fight, but still, it's a pretty vanilla room, right? Hanger, this is to adjacents. On spawn, defending allies gain 15% barrier, and defending tech allies will gain an additional 15% barrier. That is also an adjacent effect. Again, is this Insidious 6, or are we getting a new tech war team? Reactor on spawn, apply disrupt to attacking allies. This is actually a very impactful room. I think it's fine the way it is. Barracks on spawn, apply offense up to defend tech allies, and apply offense up for 2 turns to defending tech allies instead. That doesn't help, okay? Like, listen, guys, please, for the love of God, let's wrap our heads around this, okay? Our game matches are decided in the first turn. If I go first, I kill you, okay? Having offense up, that's fine. But if you wanted to give a secondary bonus, it shouldn't be a second turn of offense up. There's never going to see a second turn. I'm either going to be killed because they had offense up and they wrecked me, cool, or I'm not going to be killed because I survived it or I went before them and I wrecked them. If you want to make this a more interesting rule, give tech defending allies an additional 25% damage or 50% damage. Double up on the impact of what an offense up does, not double up on the actual effect itself, because that doesn't impact the gameplay at all in the first turn. Super wonky. We can do better. Cargo Bay plus 10% to primary stats for defending allies, and on attacked by a defending tech character with a generation gain bleed. What in the hell does that mean? So it's definitely a new tech war team, because on attack by a defending tech character with regeneration gain bleeds. So I guess if medbay's up, then they have regeneration that we can gain bleed. Okay, there's a little bit of synergy between the rooms there. That's pretty interesting. I like it. It still seems so minuscule that's not really going to do anything ever. But that's a global rule, so that's kind of cool. I like that it's a global rule. That's interesting. Engineering. On spawn, apply defense up to defending allies. Yeah, it is what it is. Then we're going to get into Crucible. All right, on the whole, it doesn't seem like they've been very creative with the actual rooms themselves. I'm going to be very interested to see what this whole new team situation is going to be. But there was some interesting play there between Cargo Bay, a global rule, defending tech characters with the generation gaining bleeds, and synergy with medbay. Because I shit on medbay as soon as I saw it, right? That's some interesting stuff there. But I would much rather see, for the additional rules for these characters, like defending tech allies, maybe give them like 10 or 15% extra life or something. It's medbay, that makes sense, right? Instead of doubling down, like the primary stats, that's fine, because this is stats on stats, it's going to apply on every single turn. But doubling down on regenerations, doubling down on, I think barrier is okay too, but doubling down on the offense up doesn't really make much sense as far as the gameplay goes. Give a little bit of a stat boost to those characters instead, it would go a long way. All right, let's jump into U32. Ultimate 32 begins on November 26th, and November 19th will begin on, season 19th will begin on December 5th. Here are the rules. Global rules. All characters. There's no global rule. This is just the max health damage and the exhaust. There's no global rule. U32 is a time to be really creative. It's time to go nuts. If there's only 3 rooms, it means we only get to put in 3 defense teams. We want them to be crazy. And we're going to get to use the rest of our entire roster on offense. It's time to be creative. It's time to go crazy. There's a reason you let people hit a room 5 times in U32 instead of the traditional 3. Let's get creative. Come on. Stage 1, open wound. On offense and defense, all characters on hit apply bleed to that target while that target has bleed lower resistance by 20%. I fell asleep. This is trash. All right, when it rains, stage 2. When this character gains a positive effect, prolong the duration of all positive effects on all allies by 1. When this character gains a negative effect, prolong the duration of all negative effects on all allies by 1. So boring. That does nothing. Once again, our gameplay right now, we're in a super heavy Alpha Strike meta, which is also pretty much the same as saying games are won and lost in the first turn. You can get effects on spawn, unless you get Safeguard, which I'll have a character that's going to remove that Safeguard anyway. I'm going to flip your things, right? So this is still just going to be whoever gets to go first will control the buffs, and they're going to win. Bad rule. Okay. Stage 3, free healthcare. On spawn, gave revive once with 100% max health. We have this room in the current Crucible season. It is stage 4. It is actually an impactful room because you could put a crazy team with like Null in there. And that's great, but because it's going to be part of U32 and the other 2 rooms don't matter seemingly at all, you're going to be able to make sure you overkill room 3 regardless of what people put in there. So we got to get more creative with these room rules, especially in U32. There's got to be a sick global rule. You could have done a global rule around like Blue Marvel because people just unlocked him. You could have done a global rule around like a curse because they haven't really seen too much fun stuff yet. We could have done more. We could have definitely done more. Let's jump into Cosmic Crucible Season 19 and see if there's something better here. But more often than not, we're going to see repeats from U32 to Crucible. So let's see what happens. Season 19 will begin on December 5th. The global rules on offense and defense. New team. Well, wait a minute. There can't be a new war team and a new Crucible team at the same time. Unless we're getting like a Mighty Avengers Superior 6 sort of layout. That would be sick. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be sick. That would be so cool. Actually, we did get Mighty Avengers around this time last year, didn't we? That would be super cool. Oh, that would be hype. If they're doing that, I hope they announce it soon. I don't know if they're doing that, though. When attacked by an enemy that has silence, gain offense up. So the new team is going to put silence out. Okay, so when the new team is attacked by an enemy that has silence, presumably they're putting the silence out there, so they are attacked by an enemy that has silence. They'll gain offense up. Okay, cool. That gives us some insight on what the new team's going to do. All characters on any turn end, if that character has silence or blind, gain trauma. Well, there you go. They're going to have silence and they're going to gain trauma. That's an interesting room rule. Like that's a global rule. That is an interesting global rule for the new team. I can vibe with that. That's cool. I'm floored right now. Is that war season just going to last so long that we're going to get a different war team like in February or in January? Is that why this makes sense the way it's worded? It's interesting, but okay. All right. Stage 1, Invulnerable. On offense and defense, characters equipped with Raider or Skirmisher while under 50% health gain 200% damage. That's not nothing. That's not nothing, right? An endgame Thanos will be perfect in this sort of room because when he drops below 50% life, he'd activate that damage and then he'd go crazy. I think we've had this room rule before. I'm not sure if it actually applies to Thanos at the right time or if he gets that damage after doing his swipe. Someone in the comments will remember for sure. But again, not a super interesting room. This does go against the Alpha Strike combo though, right? If you're trying to Alpha Strike your enemy team and you just barely don't hit the mark, like I'm thinking a Curse right now. If a Curse is on defense and you're going for the kill and you're about to kill that Helverine and he drops to like 10% life but he hangs on and then it's his turn and he's hitting for 200% increased damage, that's gonna hurt. That's a pretty good trap card room. I like that room. That's a good trap card room. Heroic Shielding on offense defense. On turn, hero characters on turn gain 1 deflect. When this character is attacked, apply defense down to the attacker. It's a nothing room. Nobody cares. Stage 3 Resolve. On offense defense, all characters gain. On death, we've seen this one before. Apply offense up to all allies. And on death, apply trauma to all enemies. This did, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure this messed with like Orcus versus Night Stalkers, which is not a match you're going to see. But this was actually something. Now, Hela could be interesting. Any sort of minion that dies early is going to give you offense up, and is going to give the enemy team trauma, which can be quite interesting. That can be quite interesting. It's not like brain breaker interesting, but it's interesting. Okay, like here's how I would grade these right now. This is like a B+ room. This is a D room. This is like a B- room. So just as far as interest goes, that's kind of where I'm at right now for Crucible. Kinetic Shield. On offense and defense, all characters. When an enemy attacks this character, generate 1 special ability energy for self. That's it. That's the whole thing. When an enemy attacks this character, generate 1 special energy for self. Did we have this one before? Did we have this when Morgan Le Fay was meta? Because that sounds like a really cool Morgan Le Fay room. But obviously, as an old stat character, she's garbage. It's not going to really work out. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what team that would be interesting on. When it has to generate one special, I guess it would kind of be interesting for like Immortal X-Men matchups, because Immortal X-Men, they take your special energy away, but while they're hitting you, they're generating that special energy for you, and then by the time it's your turn, maybe your special's back up. So another sort of anti-alpha strike, but that's not going to work, because they're just going to be dead by that point. Or maybe it would be like a perfect room for like Omega Red Phoenix Force versus Immortal X-Men. I could see that. We'll see. I don't. This room doesn't scream it's a nothing room to me. I'm gonna give this one like a C+. Stage 5, Hear No Evil. On offense and defense, all characters on successful attack by this character, if the primary target has blind, perform an ISO attack against that target. That's a very specific thing. On successful attack by this character, if that target has silence, apply blind to the target. Well, now we know why. It sounds like a very specific thing. This is for the new team. On any turn end, if this character has bleed, gain silence. Okay. Well, now it's in every team room. So on any turn end, if I put a bleed on you, you gain silence. An unsuccessful attack by a character, if the target has silence. So if say I have an enemy Super Skrull, and I put bleed on him, he's going to gain silence. And then if I hit him while he has silence, he's going to get blind. And then if I hit him when he has blind, I'm going to perform an ice attack on him. I love it. I love it. So this is like Agatha's special ability. It's exactly like Agatha's special ability, but it's a room rule, and it goes from you get a bleed to you get blinded. Sorry, you get a bleed, so you're silenced. You're silenced so I can blind you. You're blinded so I can ISO attack you. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. I wish it started with on hit applied bleed. Right? Is that not like what the stage 1 of the U32 was? I wish this was part of it. Like, this is such a nothing rule whatsoever. This should be a footnote on this room down here, right? Like, this should be the first part of this room. And this could be kind of interesting. I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like this a lot. Room 5, W room, A room. Day Series Invasion. Well, here we go. This guy's going to break the freaking game again. Day Series Invasion, on offense and defense. When 5 hero characters are on the same side of the field, they gain 50% max health and 50% resistance? Are you insane? On turn, generate 1 special ability energy for 2 random allies. Brother, were you not here for the Age of X rule where Rogue and the Unlimited X-Men had 50% resistance and you couldn't land shit on them? Do you not remember Morgan Le Fay? Oh my god! But also, it's a different meta. Lots of our characters have a bunch of focus built into a lot of their abilities. I'm not too worried about this. The 50% max health is a nice touch. I guess it's going to depend on what this new team is. What is this new team going to be? God, could you imagine if it's a new team and they reworked Rogue on it and it's just like a repeat of the Age of X? Be kind of dope. Rogue's an awesome character, but probably not. On turn, generate 1 special ability energy for 2 random allies. When 5 villain characters are on the same side of the field, they gain 50% damage and 50% focus. This is so unnecessary. This does not really feel like a useful effect, in my opinion. The 50% damage is cool. I kind of wish it was like... I wish it was like 50% health and 50% armor, and then 50% health and 50% damage, maybe? I don't know. Either way, it should be fine. At least there's like a yin to the yang here, right? That's kind of interesting. When an allied character drops below 50% health, characters on the opposing side flip negative status effects. And... hold on, what? When an ally character drops to 50% health, characters on the opposing side flip negative status effects, and allied characters flip positive status. Is this just trying to say Warp World, but saying it in the worst way possible? Shouldn't it just say when a character drops to 50% health? Why the word allies? Is this like if my ally drops to 50% life, they get all their debuffs flipped and I get all my buffs flipped? Because that's dumb. That doesn't help the villains, right? This has just got to be Warp World, just like really poorly worded. So when a character drops to 50% health, the enemies will flip their negative status effects, the allies will flip their positive status effects. That's what I'm assuming that means. Cool room. All right, let's see if it is programmed properly. We've seen issues with any sort of energy in the past. This is just a Scourge trial rule, if it's the way I'm interpreting it. And this is just stat stuff. I'm praying for you, Dacier. I really am. Let me know what you guys think about these Crucible and War Rules. I think the War Rules, there's a little bit of interest there, actually, with Medbay and the cargo-based stuff. Crucible U32 looks like a complete snooze fest. I almost just want to skip it. They did not put anything interesting in the rules, whether it be global or the 3 stages. It's going to feel like almost... It's going to feel like hitting a flight deck in War, almost. Kind of not what Crucible is all about. And then the global rules here, again, if I'm looking at this, yeah, like this is like a B+, D... maybe B minus maybe for Resolve. Kinetic, I think D, again, just based on the characters I'm thinking of. Hear No Evil, that's an A room. Dacier's Invasion. If I win in this room, it's an A room. If I lose in this room, he's the worst content creator alive. And it's a D. We'll have to wait and see. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. But for now, stay happy, stay healthy, have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.